Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
O'Brien.
me, Banshee. And today, with Bly at my side, we're going to find out where does it hurt.
That's right, it's the Unhappy Hour.
Welcome to the Unhappy Hour, but remember, the future looks bright, Bly says on her crystal ball here. And so in order to make our futures look brighter, we want to turn that frown upside down. Hopefully that will happen with this reading.
So we do this reading for the fourth quarter of the moon to kind of take you through a whole nother, several weeks of activity to the next time. And it's intended to give you a little bit of shadow work, to point out the things that are coinciding with the waning moon and maybe how you can, make them better.
And by the way, this time around, we're going to be using the This Might Hurt tarot deck. Not that that tarot deck hurts, believe me, but it's a nice inclusive deck, and just thought I like the name, certainly fits for the show, because, enlightenment does hurt sometimes. So it's by Isabella Rotman. All right, so let's get on with it. And we're doing this for the elemental signs of the Zodiac with a more collective, broader, societal style reading at the end. All right, so we're going to start with our air signs, right, Mr. O?
Right, and air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
All right, this is for you. We're going to find out where it hurts. Where you need to put a little Band-Aid on. All right. Hey, Bly. All right. Let's see what we have here. So the first position for you air signs is what is or will be making you unhappy right now. Well, it's the Knight of Wands reversed. I can see why that could be making you unhappy. A sense of delays, maybe some disappointing, things that you were expecting to happen didn't come through. It's possible, some people are in between jobs right now. So, that can hurt not just in the pocketbook, but, in your psyche as well.
There's a sense that maybe something you were hoping to pull off, or how you felt you were being represented to your friends or something just didn't quite come off. Like maybe you looked foolish instead of brave or something like that, and so you feel a little bit maybe disappointed or unappreciative of yourself, or feel that others might.
Disappointed, maybe lacking a little confidence over this now. So let's see what we can do about it. How are you dealing or will be dealing with this unhappiness? Oh, well, it's the Eight of Wands reversed. It's another Wands card. Interesting. So, the way you are dealing with it, and I would just say that maybe it's not going to be all that healthy, is scattering yourself, spreading yourself too thin. Maybe you're trying too hard to push things along, and maybe you need to dial it down a little bit, huh?
It could be that your initial response will be to either try to double down or back off totally. And these probably aren't going to work for you for some reason or another. It just may be that you should try to be more consistent, even in the face of trying to redress, some situations going on.
Right, you should try to focus on what went wrong, maybe. Just focus more and try to resolve it. Whether you just need to move on and take another path, or, you can pursue this in a different way. All right, so how are we dealing or will be dealing with this unhappiness? Air signs? Well, here's a sign of life. It's the devil reversed. You want to go ahead with that?
Well, how you will be dealing with this, you may decide that you need to sort of fling caution to the winds and move from a different perspective altogether. So if you felt like this whole situation kind of tied you down, maybe now you want to just sort of break open the chains and just sort of blow yourself into a new direction. And this may or may not be so warranted because it just sort of seems like it's part of that doubling down process in a way.
Well, I don't know. I feel here that, I'm sorry, what did I say that card is?
Devil reversed.
Are the feelings justified, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Got a little lost in the reading again. Apologize.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Are unhappy feelings justified? Well, you may feel they are. I get the feeling maybe you feel they are, and rightfully so, and you wish, in a way that now it frees you up. Whatever happened here may be freeing you up either to set a new course or to approach things differently. In other words, I feel here that your feelings are justified in that maybe you realize deep down there is an opportunity behind all of this.
Well, your feelings are justified maybe because you felt restricted in certain ways, and now you feel like you should be able to move in a better direction or some other direction.
I like that. We'll recap this. How do we turn that frown upside down? It's a star.
Keep hope alive.
You know what? Don't lose your optimism. Don't lose your faith in yourself and in the universe to right things once more for you. Now, of course, you can't just sit back and let it happen. Maybe that devil here can help fuel you to do and inspire you to break free from, the pain and the hurt in order to, move forward and achieve your destiny.
I think this calls for you to try to be more magnanimous, despite what has happened to you that maybe you felt, restricted you or, somehow compromised you in certain ways. The best idea would be to look at this as an adventure in learning and in moving towards an ultimate better, hopeful new destiny.
Right. I really like this. It's almost as if the star wrapped that up in a way, but let's take a look at this again. So what's been hurting you or will be is something that just fell through. You got some bad news, or, you may have lost a job. You may be in between jobs and having difficulty connecting with something new, and there's delays and there's frustrations and it hurts.
Well, depending on how you look at this, this could be like this was your pull up your big person pants, and maybe you didn't quite measure up to that. And so, to some degree, maybe you didn't appreciate anybody trying to tell you to suck it up.
And you may be dealing with this by allowing other things in your life to be more important. In other words, you're deciding to just do other things and not focus on this situation. You're trying to distract yourself, and in a way, that's almost wearing you down because the problem is still there. You can throw your energy anywhere else you want to, but if the problem's still there, it's still gonna hurt.
Originally, you've lost sight of your original goal, target, or movement, and so you need to think about it that way.
And so how are we dealing or will be dealing with this unhappiness? No, is our unhappy feelings justified? Well, yes, I think so.
Right.
Either that or you're finally coming around to it. Maybe that's what the liberation is here.
Yeah, it's a liberating feeling, I guess, right.
Once you realize that, you are now free to set a different course, or you are now free to revision whatever it is you're working on. You're not tied down into that same focus the same way anymore, and now you can really recreate or revise or move on. You're liberated to make changes.
I like it.
Yeah. And so ultimately, how do you turn that frown upside down? By not losing hope, by remaining motivated and believing in yourself and trusting that the universe has your back and that you will achieve your destiny.
And be magnanimous to a certain degree with everybody you have to deal with.
Nice reading for the air
Air
signs.
signs.
That didn't hurt that much, did it?
No. So now we're on to the fire signs.
Fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This reading's for us. Me.
Absolutely.
Why? Be here for me now.
Oops.
Dropping my new cards already? That hurts.
I'm going to cut that part out.
Well, be that way.
Well, did you have to mention it?
I did.
That's why I'm cutting it out.
Mr. O, the producer, holds the power. All right. Fire signs. Where does it hurt?
Okay, card 1.
Oh my, wow, is it Wandapalooza again? So where does it hurt? It's the Ace of Wands reversed.
Well, it could be that almost everything is right now, or certainly things that we feel we were beginning at this time or trying to advance in certain ways. You know, the Ace of Wands is literally a projection of energy. So it could be that we feel like a lot of the things we're doing right now are just kind of stymied.
Yeah, you know, what or who is making you hurt? Well, I think it's just this idea of your inability to get anything set in motion. You know, it just seems like it's hard to start anything up right now. Do you lack the motivation? Are you even lacking ideas or inspiration right now? It could be that, you know, you feel like you have a mental or, you know, kind of a creative, I would say more of a creative block of some sort that might be holding you back, and it hurts.
Fire signs are used to kind of burning a path, and maybe right now it feels like you can't get your light going.
Can't get that lighter going.
So it's hurting.
So how are we dealing with it, or will be dealing with the unhappiness, fire signs? It's the devil upright.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. You know what, fire signs? The one thing I don't want to see us do, and clearly you are sort of here, is that you are obsessing over it. You're obsessing over it, and an inability to get past the block if you continue to obsess on it. You have to let loose a little bit and not let it overwhelm you.
That's a total bam there. It's so that. And it could also be saying, too, that maybe you want to feel like there's co-responsibilities or co-blames to some degree. And, you know, even if it's just blaming another part of yourself in a way, too. And so it's really avoidance of being in charge.
So are these unhappy feelings justified? Well, it's the Seven of Cups reversed.
Are they being, well, does it look like maybe, you know, you had only one way of doing things and you didn't want to take in other input, or you didn't want to consider other possibilities? Maybe, you know, there's some blame to share, and a lot of it is because you weren't looking at a bigger picture to some degree.
Yeah, this is a tough one in this position. Not totally, but one thing that popped into my head right away, and I'm not sure if it totally fits. Maybe you can help me with that. Is that, maybe you feel you had limited options, or maybe you feel
Ooh.
like you couldn't really focus enough on the things that you were trying to set in motion and get off the ground. This is usually a card of selection, though, so I like what I said first, but what do you think about that?
Well, I still feel that this card is saying, you might be able to rationalize your feelings because you feel like you did have to exclude other things, but maybe you excluded the wrong
Oh,
things.
it could be. Maybe you feel you made a wrong choice in how to pursue things, and how to get these things off the ground. Or, like I said, maybe you just didn't make the choice you were supposed to make,
Well, with the devil
It's
there, I still
possible
sort of feel
too.
like there's this level of codependency, whether it's a person or not, who says maybe you feel like you want to co-blame this too. Like you don't want to take all the responsibility,
Responsibility.
you want to share it,
Ah,
which is an
so
interesting point for that card.
how do we turn that frown upside down?
No.
I love it.
Oh,
It's the Three of Cups.
it's date night.
You know, wasn't I talking previously, fire signs, that you were obsessing too much over this? Maybe you need to cut loose a little bit. Maybe
Ooh.
you need to get out more and just lighten up a little bit. Celebrate, party, have some good times without becoming obsessed and obviously not drowning your sorrows. I am not saying to, like I did in the air sign reading, say that, you want to avoid the situation. But what I think it means is you need to stop obsessing about it so much. So bring some fun back into it. Maybe it's saying here, bring some fun back into your life so that you will feel more inspired and more creative and open up those channels once more.
Well, it almost seems like the fire signs were really being obsessive and too driven about, some plans this week or something going on, and that this is
This month.
indeed
Yeah.
their advice is that they just might have to relax and realize that some things happen when they're meant to, and that could be, that Seven of Cups in a sense too, that the idea that things just need to sort out, whether you're blaming yourself or not for it, it still has to go to a process before something happens, and that could apply to what's going on with you.
So either you're lacking inspiration or creativity right now, or, you're just having problems getting those ideas, bringing them to life, getting them to grow.
I agree. It could just be that you're not inspired enough.
And you're obsessing over the fact that you're stuck. It just seems to me like he's talking codependencies, and that's all good too, as definitely reflected there. That, you feel like, you're obsessing over this. You can't stop either blaming yourself or getting past the blocks. You don't know how to do it.
Well, part of the obsession too is that maybe you don't want to totally blame yourself. You want someone else to be at blame too.
Looking for a scapegoat.
Right.
Got that. So,
Goat.
justify it? What?
Goat. Devil.
Yeah. So, are they justified? Well, probably, yeah. I think that the problem here is that, though, you're having difficulties with either, deciding a way forward, maybe. So you do feel they're justified. You haven't been able to make a choice, or maybe you felt that some of the choices you've made have been the wrong ones.
Well, in a way, though, this card means you make the right choice, and so that's how you feel justified, is because you do feel you made the right choice. Maybe you just feel it's other people who interfered or other situations that made it become sluggish or whatever.
Okay, I can see that. And ultimately, finally, how do you turn that frown upside down? Hey, party hardy. No, really, just loosen up a bit, do something fun. Maybe do something that will encourage your creativity or instill, breathe new life into you. If you like art, go to a museum. If you like plays, go see a play. Go to the movies. Relax with friends. Just get out and enjoy yourself and try to break that mental mental block you're feeling.
Yeah, I think it's just about forgetting about this and just sort of moving onward and thinking that, there's, better things to worry about.
All right, let's move on to the water signs.
Okie doke, and you're back up.
All right. And it is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's see what's hurting Mr. O.
Wow.
Don't cry. There you go. There. Bly is ready for you if you need Bly.
A soft shoulder to lean on.
This is very smooshy.
Actually, I don't think Bly has a shoulder, but it is soft.
Yeah, no, I know. There's arms, though, right there.
It's kind of like, well, I don't want to say.
Or paws. All right. Water signs. Wow, what is or will be making you feel unhappy?
It's the Hermit, and maybe you feel too isolated. Maybe you feel that things separate you from other people. This could be a little bit of conceitedness because maybe you feel that you're more enlightened in some respects, or that you just have a different burden, of bringing something to people. You're the bringer. You're not necessarily everyone else.
I like that, and I was thinking about isolation too, and another thought popped into my head, water signs, that maybe you're going to receive some knowledge or information that really unsettles you in some ways. I mean, this is about enlightenment, and enlightenment can be painful sometimes. I mean, it may open old wounds in yourself or something that you need to address and maybe look at it differently than you have. And so I'm not going to rule that out either here, see what other cards we get.
Yeah.
I like both of these. So let's see where the cards are leading for the water signs. So how are you dealing or will be dealing with this unhappiness, water signs? Oh,
it's the Magician reversed, and you are out of your element. You probably are not directing yourself towards a better solution. You may be wallowing in some of your emotions here, or you may be finding that it's affecting your productivity or creativity in other parts of your life or endeavors.
I feel like this is affecting your self-esteem in some way, your will too. In other words, you're kind of feeling as though you're trying too hard, You're trying either too hard to please somebody, to prove something, maybe, and maybe you don't have the necessary skills and talents or wisdom to do what you're doing, but yet you feel like you have something you have to prove. But, in order to do that, you have to accept the wisdom.
Oh, interesting.
I know. Are your unhappy feelings justified, water signs?
And it's the Lovers.
We've got 3 major arcana in a row. This is deep, water signs.
So you may be feeling like some choices you've made are wrong, or some values you are holding have shifted and you don't feel the same about them anymore. This could be clearly like you are really grappling with a major change of your status quo or opinion about what brings you happiness and what doesn't.
Gosh, I don't even know what I could add to that. That's almost right on. I think that, it is saying here that maybe you're Are they justified? Aren't they? I'm on the fence. I almost feel that you could be thinking that some of the choices in life you've made, whether they're mindsets, whether they're how you react and respond to things, or the situation, this wisdom, haven't been right. So I almost feel like maybe you feel like your feelings aren't justified.
They're justified in the sense that you probably feel like you need to really examine this.
Yeah, does it really mean here that maybe you're in a little bit of denial about what you're uncovering about yourself because it hurts? you know?
Ah.
I wonder. And ultimately, the good news is how can we turn that frown upside down? And it's another wand. It's the King of Wands. I love it.
Well, the King of Wands is saying that you have to try to be more true to, your charming nature, your charismatic nature, your nature of being brave and trying to be somebody who kind of shows others what they should do, modeling behavior that's good about being kind and benevolent and forward thinking.
Show your true, authentic self. There is no need, like with the Magician reversed here, to put on airs, to try to be something you're not. We're all fallible. We have all made mistakes in life. If you show your true, authentic self and how much you've grown, you will show people the leader that you truly are. I like it. Let's recap it. So, who is making them unhappy right now? Well, it's the Hermit, and is it that isolation? I don't know if you want to follow that meme all the way through or how you want to deal with that, but I like the possibility here that it could be, this idea that you feel isolated from others right now too in some way. I also feel it could mean, and maybe it's because of this, some wisdom or some knowledge that you've gained about yourself or some circumstances has really rattled you and hurt you.
It could be too that
upended you.
Right, and that you feel that no one is listening to you or no one understands you.
But knowledge is power. And we can see that play out to the end where the King of Wands is here. So the Magician is saying in this position, how are we dealing or will be dealing with this unhappiness, by being inauthentic, by showing a side, by trying to prove something to somebody when we really have nothing to prove. We need to be...
The ego's out of proportion.
Yes,
and
yes.
Hopefully we're getting it back by the end there.
And honest and, do the work that's necessary to become that person you need to become. Are unhappy feelings justified? Well, you said it best, I feel, here.
I think if it's a matter of really examining what your values are and how you present those, and maybe also trying to understand how others are understanding you or your values.
And ultimately, if you really truly just be you, and stay true to your values, and try not to put on a false face just to please everybody or to show that you are better than somebody else, all will go well.
Indeed.
Indeed. That's all we have for you. Good luck with that, water. Hey, Earth signs.
Earth signs, we are on to you. And you are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We want to find out.
We hope you enjoy these readings and, feel free to comment and tell us what you think.
We love feedback.
We love feedback.
Remember, we are not actual counselors of any sort. We're not marriage counselors. We're not legal, medical, psychological.
I'm just going to keep shaking my head. No.
But we're hoping to give you things to think about.
Indeed.
And we love it if you like this video, if you share it, make a comment.
All right. Was I first?
I cut them. I mean, you cut them and then I put them back. I already shuffled.
Okay, I thought so. I did. I'm just was confirming that.
You were confused.
Mercury retrograde is almost over.
So where does it hurt?
With another repeat card.
I know, I saw that. And it's the Hermit again in the same position, only the Hermit's reversed. So Earth signs have a different feeling. Like maybe it hurts because you feel like you need to be more alone, or maybe you feel like you're vulnerable in the world. You're vulnerable
I was just gonna say
somehow. You feel exposed in some ways right now. And maybe you feel there's nothing that you can really hide that you might feel you need to hide. Maybe there's something about you that, you know, you don't want people to know, and it hurts that maybe people know that.
Gosh, well, yes. Earth
Sorry, Earth
signs.
signs.
I really like what he said when he said exposed. You know, you maybe some revelation about yourself, or maybe it's possible somebody took a truth about you, and have blown it out of proportion or made it something that it's not. You know, in this day and age of social media and whatnot, things spread like wildfire, and all it takes is one person to take a truth and warp it, and there you go. So it could be possible that somebody is spreading something about you that is hurtful right now.
Yeah, overall, you are probably dealing with the idea that there's a lie or a mistruth about you, or a perception about you that isn't really understood well, isn't an informed decision.
And you know what else to go along with that, with the social media even thing, is that our private lives are becoming less private all the time. It's possible here that something's gotten revealed that you really did not want people to know. You know, for better or worse. All right. So, how are you dealing or will be dealing with this unhappiness?
And it's the Four of Cups reversed.
That's positive.
Well, the Four of Cups reversed is more positive because it may be saying that you understand what some choices or paths are open to you, and you have thought about them enough to where you realize what choice is the best one to help you in the situation, if not resolve it.
I like this because it does say you are not without opportunities in this situation. In other words, you know, what seems like a real, I don't know if you want to call it a PR, public relations disaster, you could maybe work it into an opportunity, that there is some way that you might be able to turn this around. And if you don't see it right now, this is how you're dealing with it. You're looking for that opportunity. How can I turn this around and make this work for me?
Indeed, I like that.
I like that. It's very positive. But are these unhappy feelings justified? Well, we got the Page of Cups reversed.
And Page of Cups maybe shows that to some degree this is kind of mopey for you, that there is a sense of depression here. Whether or not that's normally you, maybe not. You know, Earth signs normally are not often seem to be emotive personally, that they kind of shoulder well. But I don't want to make that generalism too much. This could be saying that you feel you are, justified in looking like you are processing this to some degree, and that maybe you don't understand it even.
Well, I'm wondering here, I could go back and forth on this one too as far as justified goes. I would say that maybe to some extent it's not justified, that maybe you're taking a rather immature approach to this situation, you know? Or conversely, if they are justified, it may make you feel like, wow, people don't think I'm a person of depth and character anymore, you know? That I'm acting immaturely, I'm acting out, when that's not what I meant at all.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I like that.
So, ultimately, how can we turn that frown upside down? Ooh. I love it.
The moon. I'm going to let you go first.
Well,
it's reversed.
Yes. So here we had something being revealed that you didn't want to, and here we end up with the moon, which is all reversed, which is all about revelations. So how do you turn that frown upside down? By retaking control of the narrative here.
Right.
Retaking control, speaking your truth, in a sense being authentic again, like with that magician reversed, but in a different way. Just being open and honest and making sure you speak your truth and try to take back this narrative.
It's owning this narrative because, it's explaining it. The moon reverse talks about things being revealed, but also maybe given a context. And so it's like maybe this situation was revealed, but you didn't own it. You didn't have the ability to explain it in its proper context. That's what you will need to do.
This is so good. This was
I
a really
like this one a lot for the
deep
Earth signs,
reading, Earth signs. So let's look at this again. Let's say, what was making you unhappy right now? By being exposed in some way, and maybe not even rightfully. In other words, somebody spreading rumors, somebody taking something that you've said or done out of context, and now it's making you feel very ashamed or shamed in public.
Something you talked about or revealed or was misunderstood, most likely intentionally, by somebody who furthered that. And so that resulted in that unhappiness.
And the Hermit is all about, when it's reversed, it being out there. Okay, so how are we dealing with, or we'll be dealing with this unhappiness, Earth signs, by looking for the opportunity that could come out of this? Is there some way? I think, and it's constructive. You are thinking of a way that you can, reclaim the narrative, as we say at the end here. I really do think these two cards fall together quite nicely here, and so you're really trying to find that opportunity for growth or to come out on top of this whole situation.
It was about finding the plan that worked.
Yeah.
There were maybe other possibilities, but one worked best of all.
And are you justified? Well, a couple things here. I guess in my case, I would say that, I think they're unjustified in that maybe you've been, well, I'm going to say they are justified because you know what? It seems like you have a good attitude about wanting to turn this around here, and you're just feeling this makes you look very bad, very childish, and very immature, and you want to correct that.
Right. I indicated that maybe it made you feel sad too, but maybe that's the perception that it created that you didn't want to have there, that you weren't satisfied
Pouty.
with.
Yeah, I can see that. And so ultimately, how do you turn that frown upside down? By truly revealing what you meant,
Giving context
and being open and honest and not holding it back. People need to see the real you here.
The moon shines a different kind of light, and it still reveals things. It just maybe makes them understood in a different kind of way.
Yeah. Wow, Earth signs. Good luck with that. Good luck to everybody with that.
All right.
Now, we're going to do a collective reading for societal, worldly concerns and see what's hurting in the world in the next month.
Where does the world need its Band-Aid?
Where does the world or people, countries, whatever, need a Band-Aid? You can process these cards to your particular situations that you see going around you in your collective, in your society, and see how it fits.
And in future installments, we may decide to flip the script a little bit and make it more specific to a particular idea that's either held in society or that has meaning to society. We don't want to say exactly what that is. We're thinking about some possibilities.
Maybe. We're still testing this one out to see what we want to do with it. So yeah, we might change things up a little bit till we're happy with what we have. I don't want to make it a revolving door or moving furniture. In joke.
I resemble that remark.
All right. Where does it hurt globally? Oh my gosh, why is this happening? This has happened for 3 readings. I know. Now we've got a same card but upright. Where does it hurt? Well, it hurts with what we don't know. Secrets, things that are being hidden from us, is hurting us. We need the truth. We need the truth being revealed. But of course, we have to recognize, there's so much, we should talk in America here, because the truth is hard to come by these days. But that's the point. We need to decide what we truly believe is true.
Well, the thing that strikes me about this card too is, of course, that the thing that is being revealed is there's an animal-like nature that's coming out, that people are reverting to something that's less than civilized, and maybe that's the thing that we are trying to hide, is that we're somehow not being our best, we're being our worst.
I have another big thought here. Mr. O will probably agree. The moon is also about a lot of uncertainty. So what hurts right now is all the uncertainty going on in the world. Climate, wars, disruptions to democracies. Just all of this stuff right now is adding up to a world of hurt. Just getting off of the pandemic and wondering what the next big thing will be. The financials that are going on worldwide. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, and that could be particularly hurtful in this month ahead.
How are we going to deal with it?
How are we going to deal with it? Six of Pentacles upright. Well, maybe it is about the financials, or maybe it is about inequities, by balancing things more. It could even be about climate. And also with people's relationships, can't we have balance? Can't we have harmony? Can't we have an even exchange anymore and compromise where everybody gets a little of something, and in some ways everybody sometimes has to fall a little short, but we're okay with that?
It is about the flow of things that are more related to the financial spheres. And when you get down to it, most of the problems of the world are because of inequities. They really are. And, so we could say, well, capitalism causes the problem, but maybe it's more likely to say that the dysregulation of financial systems, where whatever kind of country or operating system they operate in, they're causing the inequities. The austerity movement has mostly made a lot of people really poorer and very much vulnerable.
Mr. O, those two cards are pointing to the debt ceiling problem in the U.S.
Ooh.
So much uncertainty, so much of what we need here is this. So, how are we, or will we dealing? Will we reach compromise? Will somebody give? Will somebody have to take? Or will we do the right thing and pay our debts? Pay our bills? Because truly, this is not a time to establish budgetary priorities. There's a time and place for that. This is a time where we need to pay our bills and our debts, even exchange. I don't see why there should be this problem we're having right now. It should come, and it still hurts when it comes at budget time. People, don't get paid sometimes when they hold up the budget, but that's more the time to do this than putting our whole country's world economy at stake. Sorry.
Which causes so much uncertainty and pain.
I can't help but say that because I see this here.
So right.
Others probably can maybe see this in their own societies where this type of card combination could be leading. Are our unhappy feelings justified or not? Oh my gosh. Pentacle Palooza now.
Who wants to be in the poorhouse?
See, our feelings unjustified. They're justified because we're worried here. We have a lot to lose long term if, there is no resolution here. So yes, we are definitely unjustified because we can't pull together enough as a tribe or a family to sort out these, to pay things off so that then we can deal with our problems at a more appropriate time.
Well, this world or collective family is not able to function. They're just not functioning well, especially where they need to with relationship to security and financials.
So, how do we turn the world's frown upside down? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now,
What does
this
it
is a new
mean? What does
deck
it
and it
mean? What does it
shuffles
mean?
very well. So, it must be astrological stuff going on too. And we get all of these repeats like this. And this is the moon here. What is this? What? No, the hermit here. So, what this is saying, to turn that frown upside down, we really need to reach in and tap into our higher selves here. We really need to look at the greater aims here, the bigger purpose to things, rather than just the individual things we want for ourselves or our own constituents, etc.
Well, beyond spiritual principles, metaphysical principles, the hermit ultimately represents pure knowledge, knowledge that needs to be felt, seen, observed, understood by more people. It can never be maybe universal, but the more people that understand the real truth of the matter, the more people can try to figure out how to work things to bring about equilibrium in this financial situation we seem to be in, how to stabilize the shaky foundation, how to bring some certainty to what feels really uncertain.
I do think this is money and finance, and I hate to always be US centric, but in this case, with this big deal thing going on right now, this battle over the debt ceiling, which frankly, in my opinion, should not be taking place now, will affect world economies as well as our own, and will affect how other people view our country right now. We're also interconnected, that I can't help but go this route with this reading. And so let's tackle it again. If you want to take a more broader approach, that would be nice, but I think I have to kind of focus it here because right now, this month, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things we don't know, and we're going to be worried. We're going to be worried, and try to tune into your wisdom, your psychic abilities here. And not just that, if you are worried and concerned, hey, maybe it's time to talk to some of your politicians about this.
Well, as broadly as possible, I do feel that there is so much uncertainty in the world, especially when you have some of the international crisis situations going on by several different nations or actors, whatever you want to call it. And it always seems like there are systems that don't really have ways of connecting people with resources or being equitable to more people. So that certainly is a big part of that first situation, the uncertainty felt worldwide.
And so, how are we dealing with it? Well, we're trying to find common ground here, I think. In some ways, I think people are. But on the other hand, here, I also feel this is just about doing what's right. Pay what you owe. Pay what you owe. Worry about how to bring down deficits later. But if you've got bills to pay, they need to be paid.
Internationally, we see people trying to formulate with NATO or with situations like that. Or we also see people in Britain reviewing Brexit and figuring out if they can reapproach that situation because it didn't exactly work out the way they thought it would.
Okay, so are feelings justified? Well, I feel like people realize that there just seems to be no middle ground anymore. And in some instances, you just have to think about your long-term success. And so maybe at this point in time, there is no middle ground if we're talking about the debt ceiling, because debts have to be paid. Otherwise, your long-term situation will be radically altered, and you will have to really do a lot of catch up. You'll be suffering a lot of loss that you may not be able to recoup.
I think it's justified because whether it's the American situation or the world situation, there are too many systems that probably have to be rebuilt or seriously repaired.
I agree. And ultimately, how do we turn that frown upside down? Through wisdom, through knowledge, through true knowledge, not what we hear on the internet, not what we hear our politicians spewing on one side or the other. Knowledge is power here, and to tap into higher wisdom as opposed to things that are just, transitory and only benefiting the few. We have to take a more global and worldly view about all of this.
It's a given that the hermit really speaks to how that knowledge is shared too, because nobody can really make good decisions about anything, and we need to have honest partners. Well, you expect your honest partners to also have good information, to be informed to the point where they can make a critical thinking judgment.
Well, we really went into overtime on this whole thing, I think. But honestly, these were some really deep readings today. So I hope you enjoyed them. You get something out of this show. And it's not all about pain. It is. But it's about healing the pain.
Well, it looks to me like it's the unhappy 51 minutes. But we were happy to bring it to you. And it was just a name. We never thought it would always be an hour.
Oh,
we always figured
we were
it'd be
hoping
30
not.
to 40 minutes. So thank you for letting us share our insights here.
And we'll see you next fourth quarter moon for another unhappy hour. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.